Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about dysphoria, or rather how we let dysphoria get out of hand. And I will be talking specifically, obviously, from a trans man perspective, because I happen to be one. So I was thinking about in general the topics which I want to talk about, and this has been going in my head for a bit, and I felt like it's not my place to measure how severe someone's dysphoria is, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes we take it a bit too far. I understand that dysphoria is a very critical thing, but I feel like sometimes the solutions that people come up with are a bit too much. So obviously we have, on one hand, the people who are the equivalent of sort of do yoga and love your body, which is full of shit actually. But the other side is a bit extreme. So to specifically go into examples, like for instance, with plastic surgery, like you have a lot of trans guys doing facial masculinization surgery, and I want to say that this is done before any effects of T even happen, and it's happening more and more common. So I understand that plastic surgery is everyone's personal choice, but I feel like because people have been, or trans guys have been talking about it so openly, it sort of opens this sort of effects of insecurity from other trans guys. So it's like, oh, that guy has like an angular jaw, or like because of the plastic surgery options, people feel like, oh, I'll pass better with this jaw, or this jaw will make me look more handsome. And we need to understand that with tea, it takes time sometimes. Like, it's not that easy to just get a masculine jaw from your first injection. It's literally, it's a second puberty. So obviously it's gonna take time. And I never really understood much like of facial feminization surgery as well, but at the same time I understand that maybe I'm just looking through the wrong lens, and again, I'm not a trans woman, so obviously I don't know, but I feel like in general plastic surgery is starting to become not just commonplace, but I feel like it's starting to become a bit more damaging than it should really be. And at the same time, people's and it's and people equate, like for instance, like SRS or top surgery to plastic surgery, and they're in no way close, because one is literally, on one hand, yes, you can say that, like, when it comes to facial surgeries, they can alleviate dysphoria, but like you can't just get a smaller chest factually. You need surgery for it. You need surgery to remove certain things in your chest. And with SRS, you can't, um, well, you need a surgeon's hands there. That sounded really weird, but you know what I mean. So obviously it feels really weird to compare something, and at the same time I understand that being insecure about yourself can really reflect on your self-esteem, and hell, I'm very insecure as well, and sometimes I like look at all of these things. Or the other day I was like even taking a selfie, and I never really use the sort of beautifying yassified filters. I don't know, they kind of creep me out, to be honest. And I was looking, and um, I just didn't like how I looked like conventionally more attractive, But at the same time, I didn't really feel comfortable singing that. I feel like I'm in this case, yes, I'm going with the you need to love yourself a bit more. But then all of that plastic surgery talk goes into such weird territory like limb lengthening surgery. Or maybe there's gonna be a hip straightening surgery for all I know. And while I do understand that hips, height are massive triggers for dysphoria, there are certain things that we need to understand that we are our own sort of biggest critics in those sense. Like, sure, of course, like if you're very short or you happen to be much shorter than your national average, then obviously you might feel something. You might be feeling dysphoric, you might feel uncomfortable, but lengthening yourself for a few centimeters isn't just worth it with all the risks. And I've seen like people, guys, trans guys, complain about hips, and there's a lot of different shapes out there. There's a lot of uh, cis guys with wider hips. There's a lot of other trans guys with other hips, with larger hips. Sorry. And it's okay. So sometimes you really need to sort of put your head out of your own sort of insecurity and think like, would I judge this other guy for having wider hips? And if the question is that you wouldn't judge them, then maybe you should really stop judging yourself as well. And it's very difficult because it sort of goes into this pipeline, and specifically with plastic surgery, like you see like celebrities or in general like people who are not celebrities just go and they can't stop, and it just keeps going and going and going. And there's a lot of surgeons which don't perform that well. There's a lot of botched surgeries. Obviously, there's surgeries which don't go that well. There's everything under the sun, really. But I really want to emphasize that when I talk about this, it's literally about, I don't know, filling your lips for like her, or the jaw one, or the chin. I never understood the chin one. Still confuses me. But yeah, so I'm not advocating to not do plastic surgery. I think it's a personal choice that when someone goes into like Reddit or Twitter and says stuff like, oh, I hate my length, like, should I get followed for limb lengthening surgery or something like that, like on Twitter, uh, it's like other people are gonna read it, and this surgery is very new and really weird. And people just end up biting into this. Like, lengthening your limbs isn't a surgery you need, factually. It's your own choice. And then you have people saying crap about like fallow isn't advanced enough, fallow is bad, fallow is mutilating your body. When it's just a surgery, which a lot of folks, including myself, need to survive. So it's really weird that all of these are sort of like under the plastic surgeon, plastic thing, plastic operations. So it is really weird. And the fact that some are more accepted, some are less accepted. And I understand that I'm being hypocritical by criticizing certain plastic surgeries, and maybe someone does feel much better with jaw implants, or maybe it did help to get while the beard grew in or the voice dropped. But people really need to also give it time. Hormones work, just give it some time. So yeah, so that's something I really kind of want to talk about, and I've talked about it in the past as well. I just really feel like people don't give it enough time. Like, if you'd give it more time, maybe you'd have better results. Maybe you wouldn't have to have spent certain K on Botox. But I do understand that maybe it's because of the place I live, maybe it's how I grew up, maybe it's the expectations I have for myself. And like height dysphoria, like sure, I get it. Like for instance, when I'm around Brazilians, which are usually higher than the Portuguese, I do get insecure. Or like when I'm with Portuguese people, I know that the girls are a lot shorter than me, and guys are roughly my height. So I feel more at ease when it comes to the Brazilians. I'm just like, oh great, you know. But I understand that it's something that I can't change, and it doesn't make me past any less. Like literally, guys come in all shapes and sizes. And I understand that sometimes we read like really weird posts, like specifically. I know that a lot of trans guys complain like, "Oh, I'm not tall enough," or like girls like taller guys, and I actually don't know what to say in that case, because I'm not into girls, so I don't really need. I don't understand this demand, and I don't really. Or like even like when people start discussing like should the top be taller or the bottom should be taller, and I don't understand those discussions either. But in general, I feel like if we start stereotyping ourselves or trying to fit into this specific stereotypical box, it just does us more harm than good, you know? So I hope I gave some food for thought, and yeah, I've just been completely tired with university assignments. So that's pretty much it. Usually, I kind of think more about topics, and there are things going on, but right now it's just assignments. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could share it, group of friends, I don't know, wherever you share your trans videos to. And obviously subscribe, like, and maybe one day we will see 50, 25, 10 cents. I don't care how many YouTube gives, I'll take it. I'm that generous. Anyway, thank you.